We are live.
Good morning. Good morning. CJ, can you hear me?
I can hear you fine.
All right,
Yep.
good, man. I thought my mic is bugging out on me. Good morning, everyone. It's the one and only Senor Silverback himself. Sorry for the late start. I had a bunch of technical issues, but thanks to the master with the flux capacitor, he was able to help me out over here. And we are live and on the air. Check us out at roguemoney.net. Also follow us on Twitter at the Rogue Money and Rogue Money on Facebook, DTube, Steam, it, everywhere you want us to be on every single podcasting app known to humanity. Also, check out our sponsors, our services arm right now. Brought to you by Rogue Money itself. It is remaincom.net, remaincom.net. I mean, the services are pretty damn awesome. We have our Gold USB, which allows you to surf the web anonymously with 1024-bit military-grade encryption. We also have our personal and lending programs that are available, that are out there. If you don't have any financial issues, you have a credit score of 680 or better. You can get up to $600,000. Unsecured from our network of 335 lenders. We also have our smart banking option, which is an amazing protection that you can do for any bank account. We help you set that up. Our smart banking option protects you against any sort of liens, levies, you name it. Your account is protected. And of course, most importantly, the credit cleaning. Go from a 500 to a 600. I mean, 500 to 600. That's not much of a jump. God, it's Monday morning and not enough dark roast. Go from a 500 to an 800. Let these guys show you how. RemainCom.net. Don't freak out. Remain calm. With that being said, CJ, what's going on, brother?
Hey, good morning, V. Good morning. Had a good weekend. Some really epic fights Saturday night. I can't recall in a long time where 3 belt defenders all lost.
I know, man.
So, yeah.
It was literally one of the best UFC matches I have ever seen. UFC 217 was epic, okay? Oh my God, Rose Mama Mama Junas, Mama, whatever her name is. I can't even say it. Mama Marijuana, Rose Marijuana, okay? Rose Mama Juana. It's funny. If you go to the Dominicans, Mama Juana, I think it's some sort of a homemade moonshine type brew, but quite delicious, by the way. And anyway, Rose Marijuana's won, and then you had TJ Dillashaw taking out Cody Garbrandt. I did not see that coming, bro.
No, not at all. I really thought TJ would lose. I mean, Garbrandt looked so solid against Dominic Cruz, but you never know with these fights. That's the beautiful thing about it.
It's those kicks, Dillashaw with those kicks, man, that Cody just couldn't defend against for some reason, because he's so, I guess, structured in his whole entire boxing style, his own fighting style structured around that. And then, of course, the main event, oh my God, the legendary, one of my favorite of all time, GSP, George St. Pierre, coming out and literally, what a great fight that was. He did against Michael Bisping, taking him to the ground and then choking him out was incredible. Incredible.
I think I lost your mic there for a minute. It's back now.
Oh, that's weird. Oh no, what I said was that in the last fight we did with Michael Bisping and George St. Pierre, the legend, one of my favorites of all time, coming back and choking out Bisping, winning it. Just amazing. UFC 217 definitely goes down in the history books. One of the best ones ever, man. That was worth the money.
That was definitely worth the money. And then around that, we had the excitement of that event going on, but it just seemed like this weekend, it's just like every other hour there was an event unfolding, something happening here in the U.S., overseas. Yeah. It's just amazing time right now watching this huge transition period that's happening in the kingdom. Yeah.
It truly is a birthing process that we're going through, my man. It's without a doubt, it's definitely a birthing process. You got the church shooting that occurred. Our hearts and our prayers, our hearts goes out to those who have lost loved ones. It's just a terrible. It is definitely a real call to arms for everybody in terms of don't take your security for granted. There's crazy nut jobs out there. The days of people just doing something with a motive, those days are over. There's no motives anymore. People do whatever the heck they want to do when they want to do it. So again, be mindful. And of all places, Texas, man, you figure somebody in that congregation should be armed. Look, if you're in a gun state and you're going to church, okay, make sure you got something on your holster, not in your car, you know, but make sure that it's on you, that you have it on you, man. It's unreal, CJ.
It's unreal, and unfortunately, I think we're going to see more events like this, V. And it, you know, I hate to say that, but I truly do. I mean, we have not only the media, but so many counter voices, and you know, in my lifetime, I can't recall this amount of anxiety that is being created by the MSM, by the counter towards the administration with this whole, you know, hashtag resist. We're watching Snoop Dogg, you know, put in an album cover with the president in a body bag, Eminem coming out. Or these people that are promoting this type of violence, promoting this amount of anxiety, they're not helping society at all. And not everyone's the same. They don't understand the outcomes of their actions and how that potentially could influence people. So, so this guy, this evil guy that committed this very evil act, was he, you know, Antifa? You know, obviously he was former military, you know, fallout. Who knows what the narrative is going to be? But I think as we see more truth start to get exposed, whether it's the Podesta brothers, whether it's the uranium deal, I think that these events are going to happen even a little bit quicker pace, because not only does the media want to control the narrative and the national conversation and have quick pro quos, if you will, to change any type of counter narrative that's being built against the deep state, against the establishment.
Yeah, absolutely correct, man. Because I mean, here's the deal. I mean, you got these idiots like Snoop Dogg, a middle-aged, washed-up rapper with a stupid album cover, "Make America Crip Again." This guy's a multi-millionaire talking about he's a gangster. I mean, it's the most stupidest concept in the world, dude. I get it. You're from, you know, you're from Long Beach. I get it. You know, you had a rough upbringing. I get it. But how much is a little bit of embellishment? And how much is the truth? And now here you are. You know, you're a family guy. You have wife. You have kids. You're 46 fucking years old, dude. I mean, just move on with yourself. You know what I'm saying? You move on with yourself. It's absolutely ridiculous, CJ.
Yeah, it truly is. And then, you know, we had another sycophant that attacked Rand Paul over the weekend, which I was, you know, really surprised about. So here, a U.S. senator sitting there, it is at his home.
I would much rather have somebody tackle Paul Ryan. No, that doesn't happen. It's always just good guys that are getting hurt, man.
Yeah, just insane. You know, this amount of anxiety that's being built, and here, you know, the person that attacked him pretty much, you know, was his neighbor. His neighbor is a doctor, has a patent on, you know. So here's a guy, you question the mentality, but then this is a direct example of what I'm talking about. So here, more than likely, this doctor is in tune to the MSM, to CNN, promoting, you know, all this divisiveness, talking about the hate, you know, for the president, talking about the hate for the establishment, everything that's being exposed. You know, if I was Senator Paul, and, you know, I know he's from Kentucky and everything, I think it's probably call to arms. If I was him, I would be definitely carrying some type of protection. I'm glad at this point it wasn't anything more severe than this. But, you know, he had some 5 rib fractures, 3 displaced fractures. So obviously it was a pretty hard hit when they did tackle him and he came down to the ground. He was blindsided by it. But if I was him, in part with the deep state and everything else, I would definitely be having some type of protection at all times.
It's tremendous, man. It's unbelievable to even. I'm like, what the hell? I mean, it's the craziest thing I've ever heard. It really is. It's guys out there mowing his lawn in an affluent neighborhood that's surrounded by professionals, and another fellow doctor comes barreling out of the bushes, like out of a movie somewhere, CJ. It's like literally coming out of the bushes and tackling Rand Paul from the back, blindsiding the guy, cracking his ribs in the process when he took that fall. I mean, this is ridiculous. See, this is the problem, man. We have a seditious media. Okay? Listen, here's the thing, media. Okay, and I need the folks to understand this. The Las Vegas shootings, you know who's to blame for that? The media. Okay, the media. Okay, the shooting where the nut job was shooting a congressional baseball game, who was that to blame? The media. Rand Paul getting tackled, the media. The church shooting in Texas, Who's to blame? The media. Because when the media is putting out, pumping this, this message of hate, this message of, oh my God, there's a boogeyman. Oh, the right. Oh, the conservatives. They're evil. Ooh, the fascists are taking over. You got these nut job beta male cucks that are on the left, okay, that are on the left, and they're literally losing their crap, okay? At some point, they stop taking their medication, CJ. At some point, they stop taking the lithium, they put down the Prozac, and they take up an AR, okay? And all of a sudden, the passive left, who's so tolerant, is not so tolerant anymore. The media, we have a seditious media in this country. We have a media, and I think the conversation at this point should be, we need to start taking away and revoking licenses from some of these media outfits like CNN, like MSLSD. You cannot, I've never seen such vitriolic, vilified hate towards a president, towards a political class, and towards a movement like I've seen today. Okay, I cannot believe it. It was never like this under Obama. You freaking pansy leftists need to stop, okay? Because it's not going to end well for anyone, man. It's the media, CJ. It's about time we lay shackles on the media and start revoking these licenses, brother.
Yeah, the media, and then we're watching these deep staters, these globalists, come out of the woodwork. How many times did we hear George W. Bush when he would say when Obama was in office, well, I'm above that. I don't speak about any current administration because it's just one of those practices that we follow as far as being former presidents. We won't condone or speak, but yet we witness over the weekend George H.W. Bush and George W. Slam Donald Trump in their book, calling him a blowhard. And you see the people that just absolutely hated the Michael Moores, the liberals that hated the Bush family for all those years. The Bush family is now the champions, V. They love them now. They love the Bush family.
Oh, yeah.
They're celebrating that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Speaking of the Bush family, there's been a ton of shakeups in Saudi Arabia. And I think Paul, I guess we'll save that for the round with London Paul, man. I have my takeaways on it, and I think it's a huge shift. I think I have a feeling, if I'm a betting man, Paul's Paul's breakdown of what's occurring in Saudi Arabia and Lebanon is going to coincide with exactly what I've been seeing as well. So it's going to be very interesting banter, brother. Why do I keep saying brother like I'm Jimmy Superfly Snuka from like the WWF days? Or like I'm Hulk Hogan. I think I've been watching too many Hulk Hogan films, man. That's what's going on.
Well, Paul and I were, messaging back and forth earlier, and he's, whiteboarded it and connecting all the dots. Without a doubt, we're seeing a huge shift in the Saudi kingdom. What I'm interested in, what is it? What is about? We saw that Saudi of Arabia Jared Kushner flew to Saudi Arabia in a surprise visit, last week. The amount of information that's coming out, is this a preemptive strike of any information that's going to come out regarding some of the Saudis that are involved in some of these terrorist acts, funding ISIS, funding the 9/11, all these situations? Is it a cleansing? And that's what I hope it is. But there's different several different angles you could take this approach, especially whenever it's Yemen involved, and then with Lebanon and the resignation of a PM. What's the influence? What's the driving factor? Trump's odd tweet over the weekend talking about that the United States really wants to do Aramco, and then these events unfold, which is definitely going to shoot oil prices up prior to that IPO. Mm-hmm. What's it all about? What's the meaning? What's the direction that's going in the Middle East?
Exactly correct, man. That's what I'm waiting for as well. So that's going to be some very good banter. Well, definitely. But in the land of adults, CJ, let's talk about the land of adults, which is the rest of the world. Okay, while we begin to deal, as we Americans begin to deal with the adolescents that are running the country and the adolescents that are running roughshod and crying like crybabies because they're seeing their grasp and power, taken away. It seems as if something we've already known, the grand strategy that Russia's doing in Eurasia is working out swimmingly, and it's integrating quite nicely with the One Belt, One Road initiative of China. creating the largest economic zone with the most amount of money, power, and wealth in the entire planet, CJ.
Yeah, just massive, and they continue these deals, these negotiations. I know we've covered the energy deals, but in terms of the infrastructure and the leadership that's poised there, and it'll be interesting to see what happens this coming week with Trump's meeting with Xi Jinping and his entire trip. Duterte, it's a very interesting time to be alive, no doubt about it.
Absolutely, my man, absolutely. And then we have what else? You got these rumors, bro, of the Podesta arrest. What's going on with that? I mean, Podesta's arrest.
Yeah, and I think many of our listeners, this was trending like in different, alt news media. I didn't share it, and I was very hesitant about it because there's allegations out there that that Tony Podesta has in fact been arrested, that he turned himself in to the U.S. Marshals on Friday evening. Now, we do know that he did resign from his lobbying group, but there's a lot of speculation that's going out there regarding indictments issued against Hillary Clinton and John Podesta as well.
Mm-hmm.
I did, because when I read this and I did do a search, there was some information on 4chan regarding this arrest, but it's not. I couldn't see it anywhere else. So I did call the DC branch of the Bureau of the U.S. Marshal Service, and they couldn't confirm any type of arrest. I talked to a couple of different people there. That doesn't mean that it didn't happen. Maybe they're not allowed to share what particular happened, but this article that comes out speaks specifically that they were able to do, some type of a search and, determine that, that yes, he was arrested. I just don't see that information out. So, just share with caution. I think that there's more conversations coming up in DC regarding fake news and trying to have some type of a censorship or license. I think that there's going to be a lot of stories that are going to be fabricated like the next several months, that they're going to try to get people like Rogue of sharing this information, that they come out and say, look, they didn't validate this, they didn't verify this story, it's fake news, we need to shut them down. So I'm just very hesitant about sharing this information, but 3 or 4 different places were reporting this, that in fact Tony was arrested and did turn himself in over the weekend.
Absolutely. All right. Yeah, we're going to keep an eye out on that one. With that being said, CJ, that kind of brings us to the end of the program. Anything else you want to cover and any announcements you want to make?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Please, go make sure to go roguemoney.net and check it out. You got a little time to do this before we go live with London Paul at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we'll be breaking down his thoughts on the entire huge events over the weekend. But James, the Russian analyst, provides his perspective as he was reporting it all weekend. He was so he wrote a great article. It's called "Saudi Power Play and War Drums in Lebanon." So go to roguemoney.net, check it out. I read it this morning. He always puts together just amazing work.
Yes,
so go to roguemoney.net and check that article out and get his perspective of the events prior to us going live here at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Absolutely. With that being said, folks, we are over now. Keep tuned here. We'll be back in about 20 minutes with London Paul. Take it away, CJ.